Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet the great Karl Sanford. He is the CEO and co-founder of Manhattan Project Beer Company. His incredible story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I think we're really enjoying a renaissance of craft beer. If you really think about some of the finest beers on the planet, they're not made by the big companies that you're all familiar with. They're made by smaller companies, and that describes my next guest. Karl Sanford is in the studio. He's the CEO and co-founder of Manhattan Project Beer Company. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. It's a mouthful. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay. I want you to talk about the very early days. So when did the company start?
Oh, so officially we launched late 2016, but there was probably a year and a half before that of just planning, researching. There's three co-founders, and none of us really had experience in the beer industry or the hospitality industry. So we spent a year just researching, just figuring out what equipment do we need, how much does it cost, how much are we going to be able to sell it for? So it was about a year of that, and then 7 months of federal licensing, and so but yeah, by November of 16 we were had product in the market.
Well, give us an appreciation for, anybody can come up with an idea from their home, but when you're marketing it to the public, when you're selling it to the public, there's a lot of hoops that you have to jump through. So is it hard getting a beer brand off the ground?
Yes, it's hard. I said if we didn't have 3 kind of dedicated co-founders that were really committed to the mission of it, I don't think we could have gotten it done. It's definitely a difficult exercise. So we launched with 4 products, and 3 of them are still in our portfolio. And in one of the products we launched with, Half-Life, which is a kind of a really approachable hazy IPA, and that's our number 1 seller. And we knew we kind of had something with that beer, so that really took off.
All right, we're going to pull up the website, and as we scroll down the website, how often do you introduce a new beer to the market?
Gosh, we do about 12 12 year-round beers, and then we do probably close to another 12 seasonals or rotators, special editions. As far as introducing a new beer to the market, we have call it 4 to 6 that we introduce into the tasting room on an annual basis, and then maybe 1 or 2 of those make it to the wider market.
Okay, tell me about the process, because you have a committee that comes up with these ideas. Does it have to be unanimous?
Yeah, it's so there's originally the original committee was just the founders, and then we've added a couple folks to that. So we have 5 people on the committee now, and yes, it has to be unanimous. Everyone agrees that the product is ready, because our what we say is if we can't get 5 people to agree that it's a good beer, then how are we going to get 5,000 people to agree? So
okay, so over time, do you trust your gut more often than not? You're like, okay, we've launched all of these products, but we know this one's going to be a hit. Can you pretty much forecast a hit?
Oh, it's really hard to forecast a hit. I think we know when it has hit potential, yes. And sometimes it just really takes off, and sometimes it does well, but it's not a blockbuster.
Right.
Really, where we start to get the clues is we'll do these smaller pilot batches, and we'll we'll serve them in the tasting room, and we start to hear people try it, and they give us their feedback, and we see how much it sells and how well it does, and we really start to get an idea of like, oh man, there's a lot of excitement around this, and we think it's going to be a big hit.
And what is the market asking for right now? Like, what are the trends?
The big, I mean, if you look at what the volume is, and I'm talking about craft. I mean, obviously, there's kind of the macro beers, but in craft, we see blondes, IPAs, lagers, and that probably accounts for 95% of the volume, where a blonde is just a very kind of simple beer, but it's an ale, so it's made with ale yeast. And where a lager is also a very simple beer, but made with lager yeast. And then, of course, IPAs is you take, one of those and add some hops to it, and you have an IPA. So those are really kind of the three categories that cover the majority of the volume.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a strange question, and I know you're going to rock and roll with me. Okay, so somebody, one of your founders is eating, Captain Crunch in the morning and says, you know what? I wonder if we were to introduce the Captain Crunch flavor into a beer, how would that sell? Am I making up stuff? Does that happen?
I would say that it happens within the industry. That's not really our go-to-market, if you will.
Yeah.
Now, there might be something about Captain Crunch that we might take inspiration from. We might say, oh, this is interesting. It's got blueberries and raspberries, and it kind of has this bready flavor. I think this would be really good if we interpreted this into a beer. But yeah, I mean, ideas come from all over. A lot of times there's trends. One of the trends right now that I love is called the cold IPA. Have you heard of a cold IPA?
I haven't.
So it's an IPA made in the style of a lager. So it's very clean and crisp, but you also have a lot of flavor from the hops. But it's primarily the aroma and the flavor of the hops, not the bitterness, because that drives some people away. So I think that's a great style, and we had heard about it, and we hadn't even had it. We just kind of heard what it was supposed to be, and so we made our version of it, and it's called Cold War, and that's one of my go-tos now. So
okay, we've got some video off of your Facebook page, and we've put together a collection of these, and I want you to just kind of narrate. Home is where? Where's the mothership?
We are 1 mile west of downtown. Okay. So West Dallas. So kind of north of, some people say, oh, you're in Oak Cliff. And we're like, well, we're on the other side of 30. And
wow.
Some people say, oh, you're in Trinity Groves. And we're like, oh, we're on the other side of the railroad track. So kind of nestled between Trinity Groves and Oak Cliff.
And what are we looking at right now?
So this is from the canning line. So those cans, so they're going in right now. And then those fill heads drop in and fill them. And then as they continue on, so we don't call them lids, we call them ends, but kind of the lid part of it goes on, and then so that's the ends going on. And we always want to make sure that foam is coming out the sides like that, because that means that we've displaced all the oxygen. We're going to get good shelf life out of the beer.
It looks like you've invested a lot of money into this.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
I mean, is it a big operation?
Yeah, it's a big, I mean, we can do, so we measure in barrels, which is, so we can do in our facility about 14,000 barrels a year. And so a barrel is 2 of the large kegs. I'm trying to do some quick math. So we multiply 14,000 by 300. That's about how many beers we make. Yeah. So in the lifetime of the company, we actually track that number. So kind of 12 ounce equivalents, and we're about 23 million. So we made about 23 million beers.
Congratulations.
Over 8.5 years. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
And how can people get this? I mean, can they go to their local convenience store and get this, or where do people get it?
Yeah. So we're primarily in North Texas, so all over DFW. We get outside of that a little bit, but I mean, pretty much anywhere that sells craft beer. So Whole Foods, Central Market, Kroger, H-E-B, Total Wine, Specs, your local bars and restaurants. So and hopefully, I feel like I'm at the Academy Awards. I hope I didn't leave anybody off of that list, but we work with a ton of great retailers out there. So I think we're in, we're in several thousand locations across North Texas.
Okay, so in the liquor industry, very famously, Tito, back in the day, got in his pickup truck and drove all over Texas and said, "You got to try my vodka." Is it hard to get into liquor stores? Is it hard to get into 7-Elevens?
Typically the larger the company, the harder it is to get in, right? Because they like to do a lot of buying at the corporate level, and they also want to, these companies have big reputations. If they're going to put you in all of these locations, they want to make sure that your product is, consistent in its quality, that you're going to have a supply of it, because that can be an issue too, right? If you're a small company and they put you in too many locations and you run out, now their shelves are empty. Wow. So it takes a little time to prove yourself, and then a lot of the larger grocery retailers, they really only introduce new products once a year. So it's about this time of year we start talking to them, we start showing them what we have, and they start kind of making decisions. But those won't go in until March of next year. Wow. So yeah, it's a slow build that you have to go through.
Okay, so in the final minute or so, look into your crystal ball. Where do you see this going? How big a company do you want?
We don't have any limit on it. We think, we started this company, and we say our purpose is people deserve better, and we felt that some of the beer that was on the market prior to us starting this company wasn't to the quality, it wasn't to our liking. And so we wanted a beer that was to our liking, and that's what we did. And we're just going to keep doing it. And, it's, we just moved into the number 3 craft spot in North Texas.
Really? Congratulations.
Right behind Shiner, New Belgium. So
no kidding.
It's pretty cool company to be with there. And, we intend to be the number 1, craft beer in North Texas, and then in Texas, and then I don't know, we'll see, we'll go from there. So I think we've got a great product, and we've got a great organization, and I don't have any intent to slow down. So
outstanding. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. We're going to end with your website, which is manhattanproject.beer. Thank you so much for coming on the show, the great Karl Sanford.
Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.